The welcome sight of snowfall after weeks of relatively dry and snow-free weather. But is this recent storm enough to save the season? Those who rely on the snow to make a living have called it one of the worst snow seasons in recent memory.
But over the last 2 days, they've finally received their much-needed snow. KCRA 3's Mike Selle is live in Blue Canyon for us tonight. Mike?
Sarah, take a look at the snow we got. This just a little inkling of all the snow that is still left up here. So much snow is now covering me. It's enough snow that has people now asking, is it enough to save the season? Look. Listen, just how much did the Sierra need to see a sight like this winter?
Oh, desperately.
Desperately indeed. Just ask Don Dussard, a tow truck operator who depends on the Sierra snow to make a living.
It's been very terrible, really tough. It's really hard to make it financially.
Or ask this chain installer who's been struggling.
Yeah.
6 weeks I've been doing nothing. I've been praying for this for 6 weeks.
Until this latest storm dumped 2 feet of new snow, nearly every ski and snow-related business up here told us they've been struggling. Business down as much as 50 to 90% for some.
We've been looking forward to this for about a month and a half now, so here it is.
And the skiers and snowboarders couldn't give more rave reviews.
It's the best I've seen, yeah.
Great.
Oh, it's real good. It's just perfect. Perfect conditions. Powder. Great.
It's like a winter wonderland out here. Yeah, it's great.
So with that excitement and this snow, the big question is it enough to save the season, to allow struggling businesses to recover losses from an until now dry winter? Well, at least now there's hope.
I think we have, 4, 5 more weeks, and we need it like this for the rest of the time. You know, we really do. If we had like 4 or 5 more of these storms, then we're in the ballpark.
And back here live, it's not just the sunset and the snow combination that's making for a beautiful picture. Check this out. Again, I showed it to you last night, but today, this is this light, fluffy, powdery type snow. This is the stuff that skiers and snowboarders dream of. It's making for what one ski resort called epic condition, Sugar Bowl Ski Resort, hoping that with clear roads out there, dry roads, they'll see epic crowds this weekend as well. So the hope and the fingers are crossed that this will be a saving for the season. Live in the Sierra, I'm Mike Selle. Now back to you.
Gorgeous view, both the snow and the sunset. Thanks, Mike.
Well, yesterday's snowstorm has left behind some beautiful images. This is a look from our Lake Tahoe sky cam earlier this afternoon. For the first time in weeks, the mountains in the distance and even the shores of the lakes are covered in white. Further down the hill, there is still plenty of snow. This is around Apple Hill in El Dorado County. It's at about the 3,000-foot level. LiveCopter 3 caught these amazing pictures of the snowscape. You can see the trees and grapevines are covered in white.
Let's turn now to KCRA 3 Weather Plus Chief Meteorologist Mark Finan. And Mark, we heard from a lot of optimistic people up there in Mike Selle's report.
And I don't mean to put a damper on that enthusiasm, but let's put this in perspective. As of this morning, the snowpack, you know, the water content that we measure up there, we often do that with the snow survey. Right now, as of this morning, it's a little only 50% of average. So even though we did get a good dumping of snow and we needed it, we're still well below average. Well, let me show you how the ski areas did. Let's turn things around a little bit. In terms of the positive, we did get some very impressive totals from the ski areas. 1, 2, 3 feet of snow in many places. Kirkwood's number looks a little on the high side, but still, it all depends on how you measure it. And either way, skiers are rejoicing, as you have heard. And there is more on the way. We now have a winter storm watch in effect for the next storm system that is going to get in here Saturday night. I'll tell you more about what that storm is going to do and the one behind it as well coming up in just a couple of minutes. So we do have more changes for the weekend. Back to you.
I'll take it from here, Mark. Right now, we're heading up to the Sierra, and I-80 is pretty busy up there, especially around the Auburn area. Continuing up towards Truckee, we're seeing a lot of spinouts, especially around the Donner Lake interchange. If you're heading up to the Sierra, you won't need chains on I-80, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to be affected by the slick conditions. If you're heading up Highway 50, here's a look through Diamond Springs, Placerville. We're going to take a little trip on our 3D maps. Heading up to the Sierra, we're seeing a lot of traffic heading eastbound mostly. We see some people heading back to Sacramento, but snow levels have dropped as low as Camino earlier in the morning. We saw that problem. 50 now chain free. And again, icy conditions, and we saw some snow flurries, so that means that traffic conditions could change. Here are your chain controls. You don't need chains on 50 or 88 even. I-80 is also chain free. Highway 4, you do need chains just outside of Arnold. And even on 108, you don't need chains. So things have improved, but it doesn't mean that the roads aren't still icy. Back to you.
Adrienne, thank you. Also today, a woman made a grisly discovery this morning as she left for work, a dead body on her neighbor's front lawn. She found the body of a teenager in front of a home on the 10,000 block of Cameron Pines Way in Sacramento County. KCRA 3's Suzanne Fawn is there live with the latest on the investigation. Suzanne?
And Edie, authorities say that the victim was not shot here, but his body was found on the front lawn over by that tree in this quiet community. It's just a few blocks away from where the victim lived with his father. And tonight, the motive behind the murder is still a mystery.
It's senseless. It's just ridiculous.
Friends and family of 17-year-old Dominic Hickman are devastated, not knowing who killed him and why.
He's not a bad kid, so I don't understand why.
I just want to, get justice for whoever did it.
Sacramento County Sheriff's deputies say just after 6 a.m., a woman pulled out of her garage on Cameron Pines Way and was on her way to work when she spotted a dead body on her neighbor's lawn. Authorities believe someone shot Hickman late last night. Residents several blocks away reported hearing gunshots around 11:30 p.m.
So we believe that he was shot somewhere else and either got here on foot or was dropped off.
Here on Vineyard Road, several blocks from where the victim's body was found, investigators discovered 7 shell casings. Family members say Hickman lived with his father nearby.
He was trying to get home. He was at some friend's house and they all had told him to stay, but we had been on him about coming in on time.
There's still no clear explanation for the shooting.
I know he had a few altercations with some kids from school last year while he was still physically in school, and that he had some run-in with him recently.
His grandmother's also still looking for answers.
I don't know, and that's why I'm so upset, because I just want to know why. I want to know why.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Okay.
And tonight, investigators still do not know who fired those gunshots. They are asking if anyone saw anything or heard anything to contact authorities. We're live in Sacramento County tonight. I'm Suzanne Fawn. Now back to you.
Thank you, Suzanne.
An elderly Modesto woman is dead tonight after an early morning fire rips through her home. The fire broke out at the home around 4:30 this morning. Fire crews were able to fight back the flames but could not find the woman in time. Investigators say a space heater that was placed too close to some fabric is likely the cause of the fire. So far, crews have not been able to locate a working smoke detector in the home. Fire investigators say they now know exactly what caused an explosion and fire at a Tracy apartment complex. Earlier this month, a natural gas explosion ignited a fire at the Sycamore Village apartments on Central Avenue in Tracy. Investigators say a resident deliberately disconnected the gas line in his stove and then went to sleep. They say he also stuffed towels under the doors to prevent the gas from escaping. That resident woke up hours later and flipped on a light switch. That sparked the explosion that left the man seriously hurt. The fire also destroyed about 16 apartment units.
The city of Stockton is considering a proposal to knock down 8 historic hotels, some of them more than 100 years old. The goal there is to add more parking spaces downtown, but some say those hotels should be preserved as part of the city's heritage. Here's more on the controversy from KCRA 3's Rich Ibarra.
Many of Stockton's old hotels have gone the way of the wrecking ball, and many are boarded up and vacant, such as the Maine Hotel, the Terry Hotel, and the St. Leo. Hotels the city planners would like to tear down. Others, though, see the hotels as jewels that just need polishing.
They're worth saving from many aspects. From an architectural standpoint, if you look at them, they're beautiful. The exteriors, the interiors are gorgeous.
Stockton's redevelopment department wants to replace 8 hotels with parking lots. Presently, downtown Stockton has about 4,000 parking spaces, but more are needed, say downtown merchants.
There's no parking space down here. People got to walk blocks just to get to the store, just to get to the bank. You get a lot of tickets because there's no parking spots.
Yeah, right now there's about 5 buildings in the general area around my business that are just closed and vacant, and it causes sometimes with trouble that people breaking into them.
Tearing down the old hotels would only add about 130 parking spaces, but city officials say the real benefit would be that those parking lots could later be turned into future building sites. Trying to remodel the old hotels, on the other hand, would be too costly, says the city.
Some of these buildings had virtually no maintenance for the last 40 years. You know, probably $5 million a building just to gut them and get them ready.
The City Council will eventually decide whether the hotels are a treasure or trash. In Stockton, Rich Ivera, KCRA 3 reports.
The public is invited to give comments on the hotel demolition project, and those comments will be included in an environmental impact report. That hearing's coming up between 3 and 5 Monday afternoon in the Stockton City Council chambers.
A 15-year-old's case of hiccups bringing a national spotlight to a serious problem. Just ahead, this man has been hiccuping for years, and a radical surgery to make them stop actually made them worse. We'll have his story.
We think it's just fundamentally unfair.
And later, why Republicans are throwing a potential roadblock in the efforts to move up California's presidential primary.
And a live look now from LiveCopter 3 HD at the beautiful skyline tonight and traffic, as you can see there. A check on your weekend weather and tonight's traffic when we come back.
And Dave Walker, live at the KCRA Newsroom. Tonight at 6:30, we try to answer the question so many of you are asking us. Like the proverbial train wreck, Anna and Brittany.
Why do I pay attention to it?
And it's not just you.
Everyone I know is watching it. You know, lawyers, politicians, they're all glued.
Plus the Stockton man's quest to meld half the tools in a garage into one revolutionary machine.
Believe me, I wasn't proud of him then.
And the woman who loves him. Tonight when KCRA 3 reports at 6:30.